Okay, so my husband thinks he's a cinematographer. Anyways, this is my first video, and I'm just going to do a basic look with no frills, but basically it's gonna be me rushing through it. Okay, so you're going to want to use your sunblock. SPF 45 is probably the best, but since I'm lazy, I'm going to be using my Yves Saint Laurent. See if it zooms in right. Alright, and since I'm really pale and the sun hasn't come out yet, we have to mix our colors. I have two. And I am going to use them on my palette. But if I wanted to be really lazy about it, I would mix it on my hand. I just got it all over my pants. Okay. So usually your brushes will soak up everything, and since he's paid $58 for this wonderful foundation, we're going to use our fingers because that's $58 in a brush, and we don't have time for that. So we're going to violently, like that news anchor guy, apply it to our face. And I already mixed it up on my palette here because I know husband's going to zoom in. Okay, because I know what my formulas are. I highly recommend that you guys buy two colors, one for the winter and one for the summer, and then mix them in between. Now with Yves Saint Laurent, this one has a little sunblock, so you don't want to put this on your eye area because your eyes will start watering and it's a little painful. You want to make sure you get in all the areas that get a little redness. I like to work from the center out. I'm doing this pretty violently, but this is what I do in the morning. There's no frills here. I like talking to myself, but it's nice to have my husband here to talk to. I'm not afraid of talking to a camera. I'm not used to it. Okay, so we violently applied our stuff, and I'm just going to kind of soften everything with my brush just to make sure that we're not doing anything stupid with lines. And I like to give myself a clean face to start. Sometimes I'll do some eye work first, but I don't know, I like the instant gratification of looking pretty first for some reason. So we're pretty now, and our skin's even, and we're going to work on our eyes. I have this wonderful palette from Viseart. Shout out to Muse Beauty in Chicago. I bought this at the hair show. But yes, this is Viseart. And I guess it's called Absinthe. And this is one of their smaller palettes. I think it's $39, but who cares? This is the color. Alright. And I bought this because the gold was just luscious. It was just warm enough, but not too warm. And it would probably go with almost every skin tone and every hair color. So before I apply that, I am going to need a base. And I am in love, and always have been, with Groundwork by MAC. Can you get that? Alright. This is probably the only color you need, ever. But if you're like me, you're going to buy them all. And then maybe use them once in a blue moon. You don't need a lot, but I always put too much on my palette because we don't put our fingers in our makeup. Take a synthetic brush. This one's by MAC. It's the 286S. And so I'm going to just pick up some of this. And we're just going to start at the bottom and swipe it all up. And if you notice, I didn't blend right away because I had too much makeup on my brush, so I just evenly distributed it, oh geez, to both sides. And now I'm just blending it in. I'm working it in the crease, I'm swiping it, you know, all around, kind of mushing it all around there. Getting nice even amount of color. You can be pretty sloppy about it. I don't know if you guys ever watch Kisha's Hidden Coverage on Facebook, but she does the same thing. I don't know, I guess it's kind of like squishing out the color. You're an artist, just squish it out. Don't think about it. If you take too long, it's going to look like you took too long and that you painstakingly did every stroke. Just get in there and do it, girl. Okay, that's all done. And now, since I'm being super lazy with my eyeshadow, I'm not going to get a small brush. I'm going to get a big one. And I'm just going to sweep a bunch of color on my lid. So I'm loading it up. I don't know. Is it in? Mm-hmm. Okay. That's what she said. And I'm so inappropriate. Don't let your kids watch this, I guess. And I'm just getting it all on there. I'm kind of basically putting a little powder on all of the color that I did with my primer. And I'm just doing the windshield wiper movements. Okay, and I'm going to go for the gold look, maybe a little green. So we're going to swipe a little green. I'm going to get a new brush because that's going to help pack the color right where I want it. So I'm using a bigger brush. This one is also MAC, and the color or the name of the brush is gone, so I don't even know. And we're just going to pick up a little bit of this dark green, just like this. And I'm literally going to press and wiggle this right on the bottom. And then again, and if you want, you can tamp it. And I always lean back so that I don't lift up my forehead because I don't want to get wrinkles. Hey, hot tip, don't laugh at me. I'm 40 years old. Realizing that I got would give wrinkles in my 20s by lifting my forehead probably saved my ass. Okay, so we got a little bit of dark in there. And now I am going to take a small round brush and I'm going to take this brown color and I'm really just rotating my brush through there. I'm going to tamp it a little bit and I'm literally going to press and wiggle right here in the corner. Now guys, I'm going rogue. I did not plan my eye look today. I'm just doing it. But I like the look of a soft brown in the crease because it's almost like an everyday smoky. Ta-da! And then again, we're going to just roll it in there, tamp it, press and wiggle. My husband says that when I cut hair, I sometimes move my lips in the motion of the scissors. I hope I don't do that while I'm doing this on my face. Okay, so we did that, and now we notice that I have stroke eye because this like kind of goes down a little bit more like that. So we're just going to kind of raise the color up a little bit over here just to make it look like we have youth and lifted features on our eyes. Okay, I look like a raccoon, but it's going to be okay. So now we're going to take another brush, and I like to go even smaller so I can really pack the color. This is a MAC brush. The numbers have worn off because I've used them so much. And I'm getting a lot of this gold, and I'm really getting it in there. I can lightly tap it, but I don't want to tap off all the color. And I'm literally just going to press this into the first 2/3 of my lid. And you see how I'm patting it and not swiping it? We're really trying to get a lot of color payoff right here. And I just kind of automatically kind of do this. And then I'll kind of swipe it in a little bit there. We want a little in the corner. See? Same thing. Press and wiggle. Tamp it. Kind of getting violent with it again. But that's because I only have 28 minutes on this SD card. The next step is just a little bit of eyeliner. I don't like doing it on the top anymore because my lid's kind of sunk down a little bit. So I don't do a lot of wing liner. I can. I just don't love it, and it takes too much time for me to apply daily. So right now we're just going to take this gray Estee Lauder, and we're literally going to just smush it around in our waterline and our eyelash line. And this is just going to give me a little bit more pop. And I'd probably do this better if I were actually closer to a mirror. But it's always good to get perspective and step back from things. Now since it's a wax base, don't be afraid to use your fingers to melt it. Excuse me, to flick off the camera. And to spread it down, or spread it out. I always cut my fingernails because I work with newborn babies and I work with people, you know, with putting makeup on, and I'm always have my fingers in their eyes to blend, so I have no fingernails. Okay, so now we just have to put some mascara on. This is a really dried up tube. And again, we're going to lean back. And this is Carbon Black by L'Oreal. If you want to spend $28 on makeup, go ahead and buy Dior Show Lash Blackout. But for my everyday, this stuff really gets the job done. It probably shouldn't be this dry though. I really should have bought a new one. But that's okay. We're just going to make these lashes pop. My lashes are a little shorter than they used to be. I had done the lash extensions for a little while and they're kind of recuperating from that. But you can still get a lot in there. You lean back, you roll the brush a little bit, and you wiggle it out. And if you're really bad at it, you can always stick a finger here to prevent you from getting makeup on your lid. I personally don't care if I get makeup on my lid because I just don't care. But if you're a perfectionist, you could do that. Same thing on this side, leaning back. I really want a lot of payoff, so now I'm using the tip of the brush. There's a lot of color on there. And again, I'm just trying to get the job done as fast as I can, so I'm putting a lot of makeup there by depositing it that way. And then going through and blink, 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 blink. Getting it on there. See, I look pretty. And then we're just gonna catch our lower ones. All right, done. My brows are terrible. I'm not a very good example of what you should do to your brows. In high school, it was the 90s and I plucked them a lot. So one of my saving graces and quickest method of getting them done is this MAC pencil. My husband can't get to it, but it's Lingering by MAC. It has a wax base and a felt tip. The wax is for people who have really baby hairs, and it will pick up, the wax will coat the hairs so it looks like they're fuller. I don't need that because I have very coarse eyebrow hair and I don't want to talk any more about it because it will get really dark. Anyway, so we're going to just draw little happy hairs like Bob Ross. And I am definitely not close in the mirror, so I'd like, as much as I'd like to be, because again, this is my first video and I don't know what I'm doing. I definitely need a wax, but hey, how do you like me now, right? Okay. And there's, you know, it's just makeup, it's trial and error. If you make a mistake, it comes off. It's not a big deal. So a lot of people are really into that blocked look. I just like it to look like I have eyebrows. And I do like it to frame my face. I do like the arch and things like that. So when you're doing your makeup, you know, or when you're getting your wax, try to keep that lift in your eye by shaping it properly. And again, I am no good example of what it's like to properly take care of your eyebrows. Do as I say, not as I do. But it all can be done very quickly, and I think from a distance it looks okay. Does it? Mm-hmm. Okay, you married me. You have to say yes. Okay, so since I didn't really do much with the foundation, I do want to add a little pop. I love these little luster drops by MAC. I don't know if they even make this stuff anymore. Can you get to it? Mm-hmm. This one's pink, Pink Rebel. And I'm literally just going to put it on my hand to warm it up. See, look, I'm at the end of it. And I'm actually going to mix it with a little bit more foundation. Again, this is MAC Face and Body C1. And I know that we had used the Yves Saint Laurent, but I really like mixing everything because I'm an artist and I don't care if products go together or not, but they look good. So there's no rhyme or reason or rule for it. I'm just doing it. There's that luster drop mixed with a little foundation. And I'm just gonna like lightly place that on my cheekbones. Now I don't have a lot of cheekbones, but I do like to make it look like I have a little glow on my face. I don't do a lot of contouring because my cheeks are no longer as plump as they used to be. So it kind of looks like my face is dirty. So now I'm picking up with the rest of my brush and I'm just smiling and placing a little bit of brightness, and then I'm just going to use the rest of the brush to glow up my face a little bit. Now since I'm a redhead, I can get away with just bronzer, so I am going to use a little bit of this Jouer sheer bronzing tint.
Yep, a little closer. There.
Perfect. Okay. And it's on my hand now. And I'm just going to pick it up with the brush, kind of mush it together. And I'm literally going to use this as a blush. I'm going to get in here, a little in here, a little here, and a little here. Luckily I don't have a 5 head, so I don't have to do too much work up here. And I don't want it to look like I'm just putting brown on my face, so I have to blend it a lot. And you can blend it all the way up into the hairline. You're kind of creating that illusion with dark and light by going up. Ooh, I look summery. Okay, so that's done, and now I like to use a little concealer. This is, again, Yves Saint Laurent. Okay, and this is number 2. This stuff's expensive, so we have to be careful about how much we use. So I do a couple of clicks, and I'm just gonna lightly get it into the corners there. And we can even do a little bit on the arches. Kind of feel like I could be doing this with a brush, but I'm not. I'll probably just apply this without the brush and then blend it with the brush. And this is just giving me a little bit of lift in the inner corner and at the brow bone. And since this stuff's expensive, we're going to use all of it that we put out there because it's just money right there. Okay. I'm just going to lightly blend some of this out. Probably could switch brushes, but we're going for quick and dirty with no fuss, so we're just using the same brush. It's okay to blend as much as you can because it will look good. Okay, so I'm pretty much done. I'm going to put a little lip on, and then I was going to curl my hair, but I don't know how long I've been going.
I think it says you got 9 minutes left.
Oh, we have time to curl the hair. This is a matte lipstick by MAC. No brainer. I think it looks pretty with the green. It's a good color combo. And I just went to the hair store today and I got some wonderful new little textury products that I'm excited to try. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm just going to get my hair separated into 3 sections. My husband and I cut my hair. I had him cut the back and I did the front into a bob, and I was actually surprised that I loved it. I don't know why I'm weird about my hair, but for some reason I feel like I can do it myself. So with this 1.5 inch barrel, it's a Marcel iron. You may only have a spring iron, but it doesn't matter. Just curl closer to the base of your head and leave the ends out. Don't curl the ends unless they're really ugly looking, then you have to smooth them out. But that will give you that look of, see, those are not pretty. We're just going to give it a light little smoothing. I didn't leave the heat on there very long, so it didn't make that much of a curl. I'm doing really big sections. Curling the base. And this is freshly washed hair. I didn't do anything. I didn't even brush it because I have 2 toddlers. And I was lucky to get a shower. Okay, we're going to do this. And we're really not overthinking it. Just get the curl in there. My haircut has no layers, so that really helps with this look. Now we're on our middle section. I'm not even spraying it. I'm just getting my own hand grease on it. You see how I moved the hair over here and separated it so they can find it again later quickly. I'm going to curl it, probably best to bring it forward because I want more of a bend here for some reason. I'm feeling like that's what I want. So I pulled it forward. The hair in the back isn't going to be as curled. And I squeezed it really tight so now there's lines on my hair. Oh well. I'm going to leave that end out. I don't have my iron on really high because my hair is really sensitive to heat. My hair fries really easily, so it's not advisable to use a high temperature. You're better off going low and slow than fast. Alright, we'll try and do this like we did in Cosmo School. You're not allowed to put the iron down. I always raise my forehead wrinkles during while I'm curling my hair, so I'm always like, ah, stop it! Checking my own self out there. Final section. I'm just going to split it down the middle, kind of make it so that I can find it by putting it to the side there. I'm going to work from the back. A little finger combing. I'm just curling it back. And the most important part is to put it as close as you can to the scalp without feeding all of that hair through. You want the stronger part of the curl to be up top, not to be on the bottom. And with the Marcel, it's a little easier to do that than with the spring. This is kind of like the nunchucks of the hair world. See how you get that nice elongated curl and it's not too curly on the ends? That's from leaving the ends out. Again, long, nice big partings. I'm going to get nice and close. It's really important that we get that part ironed out. And then for the front, I always pull the corner towards me because it looks better. Hot tip. I learned it from another girl. It's one of the coolest things. That was one of the biggest aha moments that I had, was watching someone else work and do that. You learn a lot from others, that's for sure. Alright, we're going to go from the back. I can tell all these ratty hairs have not been curled. And they're from the back. I'm just going to curl them under. Nice and tight to the scalp. There's no smoke and mirrors today, ladies. I want to do a YouTube channel that teaches people, you know, real skills that can be done by the everyday woman or person or whoever is watching. I can't tell you how many times I meet people who, you know, are professionals and or you know, full-time moms, and they, you know, they don't know the first thing about how to do their hair and makeup. They don't have that skill set, and it might just be because their moms didn't do it either, and they just, it wasn't on their radar and it wasn't important. But we all like to feel good, and when you look good, you feel good. So why not? Just give it a whirl. I know that I have better days when I try. There are a lot of days that I don't. I wish I had done this video earlier in the day. I probably would have felt better when I went to the hair store. I looked like a wreck. I looked busted. I was like, well, we'll see if their customer service skills are, you know, see if they're nice to me if I look like a bum. And they kind of were, but they kind of weren't. You can tell a lot about people when you don't do your hair and makeup. Okay. So, ooh, dun dun. So, curls are still hot on this side, so I'm not going to do anything until I feel that it's cool, because the cold is going to, well, it's warm, it's still pliable, and I don't want it to go anywhere, so I'm just going to let it set. In the meantime, I'm going to put a little bit of like spray wax, or kind of find areas where I have glazed over a little bit. So I have this new stuff. This is a dry wax and a pliable texture, which is also a wax, but this one's stronger. This is by KMS California. I love this brand. Love, 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 love. I use this on my weddings, but basically I'm just going to try and get texture in my hair. You see how I did that? My fingers. All of a sudden I have like guest model hair, because I am. This side's kind of warm still, but for interest of time, we're just gonna. I don't normally wear a middle part, so we're gonna do, well, I guess we're gonna go with it. All right, I look good. So we got texture in there, doesn't look too overly done. All right, thanks for watching.